Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest in my video series about Duelyst, produced in partnership with Counterplay Games. Today I want to do a bit of a deck tech on one of my favorite decks that I've been playing a bit recently. Just did another highlight from some gameplay with this deck just a little while ago, and wanted to show you sort of the deck and my thoughts on how it works. So here we go. Here is the latest version of my Lyonar heal deck. So the Lyonar heal, obviously built around Ziran Sunforge and her Bloodborne spell, and trying to utilize the synergy cards that work very well with that, particularly the new ones from the recent expansion. Sunforge Lancer is extremely powerful in this deck, and also the Sunriser. This deck actually works a little bit differently than some of the previous versions that I've played, in that it doesn't go sort of as fully all in on the healing synergy cards, but is playing more like a control deck. I actually got this list from a viewer in my Twitch channel, and I'm having a lot of success with it. So thank you very much to Metagame Face, who contributed this particular list that I've actually been playing quite a bit recently. But the major difference between this deck and many of the previous versions that I've played is actually the introduction of Azure Herald. Azure Herald gives the deck a lot more ability to both sustain its own health total, as well as the ability to trigger a lot of the healing cards like the Lancer and Sunriser, as well as, of course, Light Chaser to help make a big threat from a cheap drop. The deck is able to play a lot of these cheap spells and sustain cards like Sundrop Elixir because it has a lot of ways to generate card advantage. Sworn Sister, Lycion, and Solarius allow you, once you get to the later stages of the game, to just really outpace your opponents in card draw and take over the game in those situations. So let's just jump into a couple games and see how it plays. Alright, here we are playing against Vanar. I haven't really seen a ton of Kara recently since the change to her Bloodborne spell, so it'll be interesting to see what our opponent is looking to do with this. We're playing at Diamond Division right now, trying to make my way up to S rank. So let's go ahead and replace a Circle of Life here. I think I want to actually keep a Martyrdom, and I kind of want to keep both Light Chasers, but I also kind of have some desire to find a Lancer or maybe a different two I can play alongside this. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep these. We'll see what our opponent does and figure out how we can react to it. Alright, a Bone Chill Barrier. Whoa. That is not what I was expecting to see. Alright, well, we are getting locked off of the Mana Spring tile here. We'll go ahead and replace a Martyrdom initially, and a Sworn Sister. So, well, I'm probably just going to drop a Light Chaser here and kill the Snow Chaser. Really my only options. So I'm actually going to move up. Yeah, we'll move down here. We can move down here, kill the Snow Chaser, put the Light Chaser here. That can potentially give it access to moving onto the tile, assuming my opponent doesn't go and take this. He can take either of these, so there's some incentive for me. Well, actually, there's some incentive for me to move up this way, because if my opponent is most likely going to move down here and play something on here, but my opponent also has access to this just based on the Bone Chill Barrier being here. So a lot of things to keep in mind. My opponent has to play something onto this in order to prevent me from getting to it. And my Light Chaser could potentially contest that if I walk up, especially with that Healing Mystic as well. Alright, he's actually just going in the middle here. Oh, Chromatic Cold. Gonna become my Light Chaser. How rude. And play a Snow Chaser. just getting blocked off here. Well, I can move here. I can actually take this Mana Spring tile so my opponent can't get it for sure. Like, for instance, I could move here or here and play Light Chaser into a Healing Mystic on myself. Kind of tempted to keep the Martyrdom. We still don't really know exactly what my opponent's trying to do with this deck. We could attack the Snow Chaser again. Obviously, our opponent will be able to replay it. We can also just try and block our opponent off here, which is kind of an attractive option rather than taking the Mana Spring tile, considering if we play the Light Chaser into the healer, our opponent won't be able to go on either of these, and we could potentially get the Mana Spring Tile for ourselves next turn. So I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to go here. I'm actually going to attack this again. I'll play a Light Chaser here. And then I'll Healing Mystic myself. I'm going to keep my hand. I want to have the Martyrdom to potentially deal with a big threat my opponent might play. The Sworn Sister is pretty important to have some sort of reload as we enter the middle turns of the game. And then the Healing Mystic, obviously powerful with the rest of the healing stuff in my deck. Alright, Chromatic Cold once again. But that's actually okay for me here because, you know, it uses most of my opponent's mana for the turn. He can go ahead and take the Mana Spring Tile there, and we see Kinetic Surge, not nearly so powerful as it once was. And Gravity Well, ooh, alright, fancy. I have a feeling that I can tell what my opponent's trying to do here. That is pretty funny. Alright, well, we can play a Sworn Sister and a Healing Mystic. We can attack one of these. So let's play the Sworn Sister first. Let's see what we get from our Sworn Sister effect. Afterblaze and a Lionheart Blessing. Well, I'm kind of tempted to Lionheart Blessing this because the Healing Mystic isn't really going to accomplish too much, and we might want to be able to have the Healing Mystic to either play and then Immolation on. I'm going to replace the Afterblaze, see what we pick up. It's not looking like it's going to be powerful here. Azure Herald. Alright. If I Lionheart Blessing this, attack the Gravity Well, and then I attack this other Gravity Well, I'm in a pretty good position. Yeah, here, we're going to do this. Move this guy here. Attack this. The card that gives all your walls +4/+4. I totally forget what that card is. I'm going to heal this. So you can't just walk down and attack it and kill it. We do have the Lionheart Blessing on this. We will burn a card if our opponent just walks down and attacks it, but I'm not really too worried about that. Look at Aspect of the Fox it. Oh, Aspect of the Fox, one of his Bone Chills. Okay. My poor Sunbloom. Ooh, that would have been really good on here. All right, Wailing Overdrive. Can I have that Sunbloom? Oh dear. Well, this can kill the Fox Ravager here. I can potentially just Gravity Well this, or rather Martyrdom the Gravity Well. This is a kind of hilarious deck that my opponent is playing. I also have the option to just play, like, say, Sunriser. I can't move. I can't really get anywhere. I could attack this. I could attack this and play something, an Immolation here, which would kill all of these and do 4 to this. That might be better if I do that rather than just Gravity Well this. It will leave this alive. It does prevent, you know, future aspects or anything like that from really impacting the situation. Yeah. Immolation here. So to kill all of this, do 4 to my opponent. Put this down to just 1 health. And we have quite a bit of healing remaining. Oh, there's that Afterblaze. Okay, gonna go ahead and Kinetic Surge again. We're gonna see Gravity Well once again. Okay, just gonna attack me for 6. The fact that the Gravity Wells are protected from Blazing Spines. Alright. He's got these 4/4 spines. It's got me surrounded. Well, I do have the ability to play Sunriser here and heal twice, which I'm going to do. We can kill 2 of these things, and I can move away from his walls. So we're going to play our Sunriser here. I think actually first thing first, we want to replace this Afterblaze. Alright, yeah, we're going to play Sunriser here. This guy's going to move away. I will attack, heal to trigger my Sunriser. And I will also heal myself to trigger my Sunriser. And And then I'm going to move away from the wall. I don't think I'm going to attack my opponent. Looks like he's like trying to, you know, use stuff like Wailing Overdrive and buffs to burn me down. So the key here is trying to outlast what he's doing rather than trying to race with my general. So I'm just going to say go. With Sunbloom is very powerful against a wall deck. Now that we have another one, if my opponent plays more walls, Sunbloom, incidentally, and this is kind of a weird thing, I didn't learn this until I played randomly against a wall deck in one of the challenges. I was like, oh yeah, you can just dispel walls and they go away. I was like, really? I didn't even know that was a thing for a long time, but yes, if you dispel walls, they just go away. So my opponent's down to 1 card in hand. We're going to replace a Blistering Scorn. Sundrop. Well, we got our Sunriser dispelled, so unfortunately, we actually don't have that much of an impressive turn. I can Sunbloom here and dispel all of these. We'll kill this and prevent this from having any Dying Wish trigger, but I kind of feel like my opponent may have more things that are worth saving my Sunbloom for. So I wonder if there's something better I can do. I don't think so, really, unfortunately. Like I could attack into here, Blistering Scorn, trade this with 1/2 and just leave this around. Seems pretty mediocre. I also don't have any heal trigger available to me right now. So I think I want to save my Sunbloom. I think I can do better. So maybe I actually just, maybe I actually just do that. I just trade this in. Here, we're going to trade this guy into here. And I'm fine with this, because like I said, my deck has a lot of powerful things that I can draw into with the Solariuses and Sworn Sisters. So my opponent is very low on resources. I don't want to leave myself without a Sunbloom in hand when my opponent has shown to have a lot of buffs and wall cards that Sunbloom's obviously so strong against. Alright, that is a pretty unimpressive play there. Alright, we can... I'm kind of tempted to just replace my Sundrop Elixir. Maybe just replace Martyrdom. My opponent mostly seems to have things that aren't necessarily individually powerful, but he's using Kinetic Surge to buff. I can actually just attack face and Holy Immolation. Yeah, we'll replace the Martyrdom. There's a Sunforged Lancer. That's a good draw. So we play Sunforged Lancer. I attack my opponent. Now we actually can't use both the Afterglow and the Immolation this turn to heal our guy, but I'm just going to go ahead and Immolation. Then I'm going to heal myself. So, heals me, I gain more attack. So, now our opponent's down to 3, we're at 14 and have the board very much under control here with a Sunbloom waiting in the wings to deal with any walls or provokes we may face. Gravity Well, and there we go. We have the Sunbloom we've been holding out on to deal with this Gravity Well board. And our opponent seems to recognize that this is not going to cut it. Boom. Oh, gotta kill this too. Any number of ways I can get lethal there. There we go. So, you know, as I said, you know, this isn't really necessarily about leveraging so many of the powerful heal triggers, but more playing just a controlling style and grinding out your opponent's resources. That's exactly what happened that game. We did have a powerful Sunriser turn, but it wasn't all about the Sunriser Light Chaser stuff going on. All right, we were playing against Abyssian. We are going second. Blistering Scorn, we're definitely going to keep. It's a very powerful card against Abyssian. I generally don't like Arclight Regalia that much against Abyssian decks because they generate the Wraithlings that are so good at killing your durability of your artifacts. So I'm going to go ahead and replace these two. I do want to find a Solarius or Sworn Sister at some point, but Not really looking for Solarius in particular, my opening hand. This is a slightly awkward draw. Our opponent doesn't have a turn one play, so that's very good for us. I feel like we're going to replace a Sunbloom here and try and find more proactive stuff. We're just going to move up and play a Silverguard Knight here to contest the Mana Spring tiles. End my turn. We don't want to play it on a tile. We have nothing to do with the extra mana, so maybe there's a possibility we get to this turn, which could be very good for us. Alright, there's a Wraithling Swarm. We have an excellent answer in Blistering Scorn. I was going to go ahead and take that. How rude. Demonic Lure. Okay. Going to throw this guy around. Okay, so we can just move this guy back. I'm kind of curious why my opponent chose to lure that. Seems like a strange choice given the circumstances. Doesn't really accomplish a ton, but I can move here. It does keep me from potentially protecting the Mana Spring tile. I think we're just gonna give up on the tile here and just play a Scorn. We'll just move this way. I'll move right here. We don't have any ones we really want to play this turn. I don't really particularly want to replace anything in my hand either. I think that I have lots of attrition tools in the Sworn Sisters. I kind of want to hold on to Azure Herald because it's a good tool for enabling any of my things that do care about healing. So I'm just going to go ahead and play a Blistering Scorn to kill his 3 guys. And then I'm going to punch him. And then I'll say go. So he's moving away from... Ooh, a Shadow Watcher. Okay. And Shadow Spawn. If these are not blocking me, this guy's gonna die. Yeah, that didn't go well. Probably should have played the Bloodborne spell first, and then played the Shadow Watcher off in the corner there, I think. I think that would have worked out better. So we're gonna go over here. We'll replace the Sundrop. We're not really in need of the elixir here, I don't think. We'd like to find, say, a Lancer. We don't need 3 Sword Sisters. We're gonna get rid of one of those pretty soon. But yeah, I'm gonna walk over here, kill this. And this will... We actually just want to kill minions more than anything. Because we don't want to let our opponent activate the Deathwatch stuff, like, say, Crescendo or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to Azure Herald myself. I can't really use Sworn Sister effectively because I have too many cards in hand. We'll play this here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and heal up my Blistering Scorn with my Bloodborne spell. It's interesting, you know, that the change to Blistering Scorn that made it cost more and be bigger isn't necessarily clearly a bad thing for this deck, because you do have so many things to heal your guys that having a bigger minion can be quite powerful. Ooh, Grasp. Alright. Is he gonna sacrifice to kill that? Ritual Vanishing? There we go. So that does kill my poor defenseless Silverguard Knight. At least I put it with nothing on the board. He's gonna run away again. Alright, well, I'm gonna run forward and play a Sworn Sister. We'll replace this Solarius. Alright, well, we're gonna just end up burning a card if we don't cast something, so I'm just gonna Lucent Beam my opponent here. Get ya! I don't want to attack with this because I don't want to make it easy for my opponent to kill anything. I'd only do 1 damage, and it would make this much more vulnerable to, say, Grasp of Darkness or some other thing that could possibly give my opponent a Deathwatch trigger. So I'm just gonna say go. Alright, there's a Bloodmoon Priestess. We do have a Sunbloom that can help us deal with the Priestess. or a Martyrdom for that matter. I think we probably just want to Sunbloom it, because we can Sunbloom and then walk up, attack, move here, play a Sunriser, heal, and get the trigger and clear everything. Whereas if we Martyrdomed, well, actually we could walk up, play Sunriser, and Martyrdom this. That actually may be the best option, because we clear everything, yeah, and then we still have this, which is still good for anything we'd probably want to Martyrdom, like a big provoke minion or something. So let's do it. So we Sunriser here, Martyrdom this guy. Martyrdom gives him life. And just gonna say go. We actually are probably not gonna need a Solarius here. I probably should have replaced that first, but that maybe was a little loose to attack with the Sworn Sister here, because I was getting the heal off the Martyrdom instead. I actually just kind of had the one play pattern of attack with this, heal it with the Sunbloom in my head, and forgot that that meant I probably didn't want to attack with this one. But the basic gist of that is, getting the Sunriser down and clearing my opponent's board with that. And it's actually, because I attack with this, my opponent is able to kill it and get a Death Watch trigger with the Shadow Dancer. So it's not really going to be super relevant, because we can clear this potentially just with Immolation here. So I can we kill him? Attack with this, walk over here. Oh yeah, he's super dead. Actually, this doesn't quite get in there, but yeah, this should just be well past lethal. So there we see again, the power of the triggers with Sunriser being very effective there at helping me get AoE clear, and also just the power of some of the cards that are otherwise kind of enablers for the healing cards, like the Blistering Scorn, just naturally very good against Abyssian. But still, the core of the deck isn't really leaning heavily on those healing synergy cards, because you do have the just long game control potential of the card advantage from Sworn Sister and Solarius. So anyway, that is going to be it for my video for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at Lyonar Heal and this new version. So I've been having a lot of fun and success with it, so I suggest you guys try it out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.